Take a pit stop for all things NASCAR with the 4 Tire Change Podcast. Here is your host, Dawson Eiserloh.
The 4 Tire Change Podcast is back. Dawson Eiserloh with you. Welcome back. It's been a long off season. We haven't heard from us in a while. We've been getting everything ready to roll with an off season of changes, an off season of maybe a little bit of uneasiness in the NASCAR front, some teams, NASCAR going back and forth, but now we're set for a tremendous season, and I can't wait. Daytona 500 is Sunday, and we've got a ton of content leading up for it. We're going to start things off with a bang. How about a NASCAR superstar joining the show, Ross Chastain? I caught up with him in New Orleans last week, of all places, talking about his career, talking about Trackhouse racing. Of course, we had to throw something in about the Hail Melon. Ross was awesome. So the first episode of the 4 Tire Change Podcast in 2025 is going to be Ross Chastain. Stay tuned later in the week. We'll still have our Daytona 500 preview, which will be kind of mixed with our season preview as well. We'll make some picks. We'll do a lot of fun stuff later in the week, either Friday or Saturday. But to start things off, my conversation with Ross Chastain himself.
A special interview here, one that was kind of unexpected down in New Orleans, Radio Row. The Super Bowl is here, of course, and we found Ross Chastain, Trackhouse Racing, the #1 Chevrolet. Ross, I know it's a busy week for you, so thank you for doing this.
Yeah, man, glad to. It's a lot to take in here in New Orleans. Kind of a love-hate relationship with this city. Anytime I come here, it's never very casual, but to be here, see the build-up yesterday to today for the Super Bowl, and it's ramped up this morning. It's a cool thing to be a part of.
Yeah, it's my hometown, so it's interesting for me when I come back to these types of events. I live just a couple hours away. It's always a reminder of just how wild it is when you're here. And Monday, Tuesday, kind of calm. Yesterday was started to get pretty wild. So okay, it's an interesting time, right? You just finished up the Clash. It was a new experience for you all over at Bowman-Gray Stadium. First off, just how was that? What did you make of? I know NASCAR has really been trying new things out here. It seemed like people kind of liked what they saw. What was it like from a driver's perspective?
It felt like a racetrack, and that's something that LA didn't feel like with the new asphalt every year. New pavement just is so gripped up and so perfect that they never feel quite natural, because I grew up on like really rough asphalt tracks in Florida that were not perfect at all, and the walls were all left and right. They weren't smooth. And we got to Bowman-Gray this year, and they put the safer barrier like in line with the way the guardrail has always been, and it's not perfect. And the asphalt stayed the same. The concrete down by the football field stayed the same. Like if you got too low, you were in the grass. You weren't hitting a concrete wall like we had in LA. So a lot of things from just a fundamental racetrack side I thought were better, and I'm not sure that we thought through it going to LA. But we would go in every year, and the France family, NASCAR would build a new racetrack, and so that was what they had to do. And then the people side, to see the legends of our sport, I was able to watch the Last Chance race up in the grandstands with the Wood brothers, and to stand there and watch them watch their car, like the iconic red 21, Josh Berry drive his way into the feature, was really cool. I was super happy to not be in the race with him because it was rough. But yeah, it was just to see their excitement, see their disappointment when things weren't going their way. But Josh kept his nose clean enough and drove his way up to a transfer spot. So that's the kind of stuff that Bowman-Gray has so much history that I don't normally get to experience it now in my role, because I'm usually on track. So to see some heroes of mine, the Wood brothers, it was really cool.
It's been interesting these last few years for you, right? Trackhouse starts, and you've kind of become, the premier driver that's been carrying the way a little bit. And it's still growing, though. And I know it was, I'm sure you've been involved in all those processes as Justin Marks has kind of made this thing bigger and bigger, adding another car this year. Just what's it been like to kind of take that rise and now, be kind of one of those staple drivers and watch this thing continue to grow?
That was the goal when Justin hired me to drive the one car. We had a year under our belt with my crew chief and spotter and engineers and pit crews, so that a lot of those first year rookie jitters and stuff kind of were gone, and Justin didn't see them. So we stepped in like a second year sophomore season, and we had our struggles at the beginning, but that was the goal, was to be the anchor of the team, and when things are tough, to push through and get best possible finish, and when things are great, like go get it. And we did that early on, and we definitely had our fair share of struggles, but when you look down the list of just trying to be more consistent, trying to just make our bad finishes a little better and make our good finishes great, that's a tough balance in NASCAR. So Justin gave us, really Daniel and I in that first year, he gave us each multi-year contracts. He gave us the commitment that he was going to be there with us through the learning process of the new car, the Gen 7 car at the beginning, and that you saw that in our driving. We were confident early on, and some people probably have caught up, but now we're trying to take that next step, adding the third car, more people in the shop with more smart people is going to help.
Shane Van Gisbergen, I think everybody's excited to see this full-time thing. We saw him do it in the Xfinity Series. I'm sure it's going to be this balance, right, where he's probably going to be looking to y'all on the ovals a lot, and then y'all can go back and say, hey, man, help us out on these road courses. What is that partnership going to look like, do you think, throughout the season to have that third car and to have a guy with as unique a skill set as Shane?
Oh, it's already Justin's return on that investment of taking him to Chicago in 23 is already paid off 10 times over. Yes, we've realized how we can work good together, what we don't work good together on, but most things we do. And really, I guess the worst thing is probably Shane's running addiction he had last year. He ran over 1,000 kilometers throughout the year. That's like 3 kilometers a day-ish. He needed to hit, and he had a bet with his buddies from back home. And, I mean, the man just cranked out the miles. I don't have the legs for that many quantity. I can do quality miles, and I can run fast, but not that many over the year. So when you get back to the racing side, we shared our simulator quite a bit toward the second half of the year. We realized what he could help me with, like you just said. I mean, it's as simple as we go to Watkins Glen, we do a lot of prep together, Shane and I, and we kind of blew up the way that Trackhouse had been prepping us as drivers for these races, and we qualified first and third, and I actually beat him. And I got a pole at Watkins Glen, like bucket list thing that I'll never forget. And we ended up running second and fourth in that race. Just untimely caution. Unfortunately, by Daniel cutting a wheel in half, breaking a wheel, and getting stuck in the sand, that kind of blew a race up through really nobody's intentional fault. It's something but that was a snapshot into doing things different and evolving. We're not the same team we were in 22 when we had early success, and now going into 25, we're continuing to evolve. And now that we've got Shane in-house, he's not sharing the secrets with everybody else. Yep. It's good.
So the Daytona 500, of course, I mean, it's less than a week away by the time this podcast airs. You guys headed there. You've had some success in the past, those types of tracks. I know it's always just, there's an element of luck to it, but like, how much goes into a game plan for you guys? How confident are you? I know the manufacturers have always kind of had their agreements here and there, but and is anything going to be different, you think, this year with some of the slight tweaks that they've made?
It's a different Daytona 500 every time that I've been in it, and now that I've been in the sport, I go back and study and look at past races. I haven't seen a Daytona 500 that looked the same yet. They all have a different flavor and different outcome, and definitely different outcome, but different just the way the race sets up and plays out. So our team pushes for qualifying. They want to go and show speed early on in that Wednesday qualifying session. They want to put the Trackhouse cars further forward. The duels survive, just survive. Learn who we can work with, learn who we can push, learn who we can't, but don't crash. We have other cars. We'll have 3 more cars ready to go if we need them, but we don't want that. And then Daytona 500, make it to mile 400 and something, and put ourselves in position, the right strategy to be up front. We were able to do that last year, avoid the big one on the backstretch. Like, my back bumper got grazed, but I was the leader, so I barely made it through, didn't get turned. 9 times out of 10, I get turned in front of the field, and I'm the one spinning, and they all pile into me. So we'll see. We just put ourselves in position and know that Atlanta does kind of a similar layout, a little more handling involved, but setting ourselves up for the year to hit the ground running, and just be confident that we're making the right intentional choices on track, pit road, preparation, and we can leave Daytona with our heads held high, I think, if we do that.
I know, things have probably evolved for you expectation-wise going into the year. I'm just curious, in this 2025 season now, the 3-car team, but you individually, is it as simple as, hey, we want to make the playoffs? Is it this round? Is it championship 4? Where do you guys set your big-term goals for your team individually?
Everybody's a little different, even internally on my team, but I don't personally get into number-based goals. I will say that we ended 23 with a win at Phoenix, the final race of the year, not fighting for a championship, unfortunately. We were a year too late on that, but we won. So I went through the whole off season, and if you would have talked to me a year ago going into the 24 season, I would have just been oozing excitement and confidence, and I truly felt it. And then we started the year, and it was not as good as I had kind of hyped myself up to. So I learned from that and realized that you can be as good as you want to be in November, but come February, it's a clean slate. And it's kind of that way every week. If you don't, not that we slacked off on our preparation, we just thought we were going to be better. So, I think that I learned from that. I know I did. And, just the speed will speak for itself. I have expectations of how I'm going to enter the corner at Las Vegas, what kind of brake pressure I'm going to use at Phoenix, and downshifting, and that's the kind of stuff I get all geeked out on and nerd out on.
I can't do a full Ross Chastain interview without asking you about the Hail Melon. I know it was a few years ago at this point. How many times have you seen it? And do you still, I'm sure you get sent it, ask questions about it all the time, but do you still sit back and go, man, what a wild thing that was?
I do. Yeah, it'll come up. The old algorithm will send it my way sometimes, or somebody will send it to me. And I think the coolest view for me, I mean, the broadcast is great, hearing them. It is, and that's the first thing I saw when I got out of the car, and I didn't think it was real. I asked them, show me the normal speed one. I thought someone sped it up. And then, but the fan point of view, so there's a couple of different YouTube, montages of just all the different angles from turns 3 and 4. The whole grandstand of people filming, and some of them, they're not even filming the right way, but you see me fly by on the side, and that's probably because you can hear the genuine reaction of just confusion and trying to understand it, and you can hear the people just asking themselves, asking their people around them, what was that, and did you see it? And people are looking the other way, they're going, I saw it. I'm like, no, you didn't see it. But I think that for me, that seeing it from the fan side, because I was a fan just a couple of years ago and grew up a fan of the sport, and if things go a little different, that could have been me sitting in the grandstands watching someone do something like that, and I would have been amazed by it. So I was amazed in the car, and then seeing the camera angles from the grandstands is the coolest part for me.
And it's like you're getting your jersey retired. They changed the rule. You can't do it anymore. So, Ross, really appreciate you doing this, man. Excited to see the number one car out there this year, starting with the Daytona 500 and all season long, man. Best of luck this year, and we'll catch up with you again.
All right. Thanks, Dawson.
Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Look, Ross was great. He was really just, super nice with his time, answered a lot of questions for me, and I really enjoyed the conversation. So that's quite a way to start 4 Tire Change Season 2. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Get everything rolling. It's going to be another full year of content here. Every week we'll have weekly videos recapping everything that goes down in the NASCAR Cup Series. I can't wait. So stay with us later in the week. Daytona 500 and a season preview episode coming your way.